Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 5, Episode 37. If you counted all of them over the 5 seasons, it's 231 episodes, unless my math is wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm Craig.
And I'm Sean.
And Sean is with us this week. Surprise, surprise. Britt's a little under the weather, even though aren't we all under the weather? So Sean has joined us this week. Sir, how are you? It's been a while.
I'm doing good. It's glad to be back.
Glad to have you on this fine spring-ish day in New England on the off-season of the NFL.
It is beautiful out.
It is, and then it's supposed to, I think it's supposed to be like 80 tomorrow, and then downpour tomorrow night,
Oof.
and then be sort of okay Saturday, and then rain again on Monday and Tuesday. So, I would like this section of spring to be over with already.
Mm-hmm.
But let us start where we always start. Sir, what are you drinking, if anything?
I am drinking, and I figure one of us might as well be.
Right.
I have beer by Reverie Brewing Company in Newtown, Connecticut.
Yep.
It is Manual Power Sour. It is a sour IPA.
Oh, let me know what you think about this, because I got one of those too, and I'll be honest, it was not one of my favorite beers ever.
Oh man. All right, here we go.
While Sean was pouring that out, I've been lazy and have not bought any beer recently, so I'm drinking water. I know, it's exciting. But it's flavored, it's cucumber lime flavored water. It's very fancy.
Yeah, that's not any better.
All right, so take a swig of your beer.
Let's see here. Smelling it first. Definitely got some tropical fruit smell to it.
Yep. And while Sean's doing that, you can read the description from the can, but this beer came into existence because they lost power. And they had to try to save the beer they were brewing at the time when they lost power. So this is how this beer was born.
Yeah. It's kind of not a sour and kind of not an IPA. I don't know even how to describe it.
Yeah, right? It's somewhere in the middle, which is a very weird place to be.
Which I guess makes it exactly what it says.
That's true.
Sour IPA.
Yeah, it has a very strange flavor profile that it wasn't for me. I like some of their other beers, but this one just didn't do anything for me.
You don't mind this.
See, and Sean likes it. Like, I love their coffee stout. Oh, that beer is amazing. And I freaking missed their pumpkin beer again this past year. So help me God, the day that I find out it comes out, I am taking the day off and driving to Newtown to get it, because I've missed it the last, I don't know. Actually, I've never had it. So however long they've been making it, I've never had it.
Wait, you've never had a pumpkin beer? Oh my goodness.
No. Pumpkin beer from
No. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah,
pumpkin beer from, like, I thought you've had them all from somewhere by now.
Nope. Damn it. So would you drink this beer again? Would you buy it again?
I probably won't go out of my way to buy it. It's not like, like, oh my God, I gotta have this again. But it's not bad. I drink it. It's not actually that bad for a spring day like this. And
that's true.
It's lighter. It's not that heavy. So it's a decent little summer beer, I think, or spring beer.
Nice. I actually just saw if you're into the more bigger profile, that's the wrong word to use. Bigger branded beers, Sam Adams Porch Rocker is back out.
It is.
I've enjoyed that beer. That is a good beer. Remember, this little time machine. Do you remember when Sam Adams was the craft beer? That was it.
I know.
It was Sam Adams and then everything else.
And being from this area, we had it distributed to us.
Yeah.
So we got to have it when it was just a smaller brand.
Yeah. Yep. And then they started making all kinds of flavors eventually, and then Another, like, okay,
I
so
do.
here's another beer sidebar. Um, Beers that I used to get all the time. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Sam Adams, we just mentioned that.
Yep.
I'm not going to include Guinness in this list because Guinness is on its own. It's in a different book, so
Yep.
I separate that. So Sam Adams, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, After Sam Adams would probably be. You ready? MGD, Miller Genuine Draft. I used to
Yeah.
drink that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it was this one was what was it called? I'm rewinding my brain here. Smittix. I did get into that eventually as
Okay.
well. But like Sam Adams and MGD for of the longest time were like just my go-to beers for
Mm-hmm.
no matter what I was doing.
I was a Magic Hat person for quite a bit, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They've been
Magic Hat
around
was
for a
after
long
Sam
time.
Adams, like in the.
Yeah, but they've been around for a long time.
That's right. I remember someone like so I knew someone who was drinking Magic Hat and they gave me one. I don't know which one it was, but I was like, "How can you drink this?"
But I had also we discovered a small little place. It's called Bad Frog. Bad Frog beer. It was literally a frog given the middle finger, and it was a lemon lager. Right? And it was
How?
actually really good. This is what we discovered in college.
I don't think I ever had that. Was that local to your college?
I no, I don't think so. We
Hmm.
found it in Stratford, the
Oh,
beer,
okay.
but it was not very big, you know.
Yeah, and then there were
Especially in the late '90s, the craft scene hadn't taken off yet. So
yep.
other than you know, starting with Sam Adams and stuff like that.
Yep, and then there was the many forgotten nights due to a can with the word Sparks on the side of it. So,
Oh God, yeah, we won't go there. Yeah,
and just
we
for
won't go
folks who
there.
don't know, that is a malt beverage that it's not a beer. It's basically alcohol with an energy drink, and it
Yeah, orange
and it
energy drink.
and it tasted like Dynatap to me. The grape one did anyway. So,
Okay,
all right,
memories. But
moving on. Yeah,
before we,
yeah.
I'm gonna held up a drink to Dwayne Haskins.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, of course.
Dwayne, gone way too soon. No matter what you thought of him as a football player, um, it's sorry to have a life gone like that. So here's to Dwayne.
That's right. Yeah, it's terrible news. Very horribly unexpected. I guess something happened with his car. I'm assuming there really weren't many details, but he was going down the highway, trying to cross the highway, and a truck hit him. So it was just a bad situation all around.
Yep.
So that actually leads me into one of my burning hot take topics for you.
Okay.
So when that news broke, everyone's favorite Twitter analyst, Mr. Adam Schaefer, he
Hmm.
posted that, and he's kind of been the guy for the NFL who he's usually always first with news since
Yes.
he talks to so many people, which is fine. But he did get a lot of flack for how he worded
Yes,
his
I saw that.
post about Dwayne Haskins.
Hmm.
He put in the post that he passed away unexpectedly or in an accident. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but he did
I
make
believe.
mention.
I
Made
believe.
mention. Yep, go ahead.
I believe it was he was a standout at Ohio State before, uh, but struggling to catch on with the Washington
Oh,
Commanders
that's right, with
and
Washington and
Steelers.
Pittsburgh, and
Yeah,
and he got a lot of flack for that because
the man has
like
just died.
he
You don't
just
need to mention.
died, and people who
Yeah,
follow football, who are following him, don't need to like already knew who he was. So
yeah,
I didn't watch the video, but I think he made an apology video, and which kind of it's kind of amusing in a weird way that someone went back through his tweets and like made a collection of all the times that he's apologized
Hmm.
for typing poorly, I guess is the right
Okay.
word to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so in your like do you think in your mind to be can you like so to be first for something like that, do you think you have to just throw away the human part of it and just type something and hit send before anyone else does?
I think that is part of it. Is that you're not really thinking. You're just, all right, I need to get this out. Let me write something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm sure if he had 20 minutes to think about it, he would have worded it differently. But in this age of social media and things happening at the blink of an eye, you're writing before you're even thinking. So I understand the gap, but he's doing it so often. He needs to be more mindful about it, I guess. I mean, he's the guy that everyone looks for this kind of information breaking. So
No, that's true. Yeah, I think it's
you,
really
you, you
it's
need to just
mhm.
reread it once before you send it.
Right. This like you were checking for a typo. Just like skim it really fast.
Hmm.
Like you don't have to have Siri read it to you, but just scan it really quick, maybe. Yeah, I think in the age of digital media to be and try to be the first one for something, at least especially news of that magnitude. I think it does it, and he does it. That's his job. That's what he does.
Hmm.
So I think it, in a way, kind of warps your brain where you're disconnected from like the person that you're
Yeah.
talking about because you're just typing and it's just news and blah and that's it. And there's no emotion behind it. It's just words. So, but yeah, um, yeah. You have anything for me? Because I have another question for you.
I don't know. I know we have the draft coming up, and
Yes.
the NFL draft. And uh, do you know how many teams have two first round picks in this year's draft?
Hmm. How many teams have two first round picks this year? I
Uh-huh.
know I know the Jets do,
Hmm.
and I honestly don't know who else does.
There are, believe it or not, eight eight
What?
teams with two first round picks. The Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, the Jets, the Giants, and Philadelphia
Wow,
all have two first round picks this year.
that's kind of
No.
crazy.
Uh-huh. There is going there. I mean, and it changes what your strategy is, I think. I mean, that's a knowing that there's so many teams with two and then the other teams aren't picking that you have needs, so you can kind of hedge your bets on who you want and when you want them. Some on some of these guys.
That's true. So then you have to, out of those teams, do you think anybody's going to trade away their pick for something or someone?
The popular rumor. I mean, of course, we're in New York, so everyone's thinking, "Hey, does the Jets trade one of their first round picks for DK Metcalf?" I don't know. I don't think so. I think money wise, it doesn't make sense because you're going to have to pay him a lot, and you have a lot of other needs. Would it be more wise to just draft a wide receiver and have him, become DK Metcalf? I mean, these guys are supposed to be so good so early now. It's not the 3-year rule anymore with rookie wide receiver or with wide receivers anymore. You know?
That's true, but I think they might. I don't know if they're looking for someone to come in and be kind of have that experience already. So maybe I'd like to see the Jets at least draft a defensive person. Hopefully,
Well, I mean, again, if they don't trade, I mean, if they trade, they still have a one pick,
that's
one of
true.
them. And if I mean, because they have four in the top like 38, something like that. So
I think so.
they can trade a first and second rounder for DK Metcalf, still have a first and second rounder, and then you're paying him. But so I don't know what that does to your cap, but you know, or you could use all of them and try to fill as many holes as possible, and hope that your wide receiver that you pick in the one of the top 10, two in the top, right there is worth the not trading for DK Metcalf.
That's true. Or for all we know, that the Seahawks are just going to keep him. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
So
all right,
there's
yeah.
my. Go
So
ahead. You
say
got.
what's it like? What teams are going to do with their picks is honestly going to be up for debate until they, you know,
Mm-hmm.
until the draft actually happens, because they can literally
Yep.
trade their pick like right before their pick.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen mocks. I've only seen like one or two trades in the mocks, so I don't know.
let's see. I have one other question for you.
Sure.
So, two quarterbacks have changed teams.
Mm.
The Russell Wilson is now, well, more quarterbacks
Much
have
more
changed,
than two.
more than two, but
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about two in particular. Russell
Okay.
Wilson is now the quarterback in Denver, and Matt Ryan is now the quarterback in Indy. Of those two quarterbacks, who do you think is going to have a better end to their career,
Oh,
or
that is that is
even just a better season next year? If that's an
that.
easier
Well,
question.
that's also not easy because I mean, I guess you have to say Indy is in a less competitive division because that AFC West is brutal.
Yeah, the
Even though,
AFC or AFC South. Yeah, well, the AFC South is Texans, Indy, the Jags, and the Titans, and the West is Denver,
mhm,
Kansas City, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
yeah. So I, I want to say that wow, it's tough. That is a tough question. I want to say that probably the Indianapolis Colts have an easier path to it. Um, so I want to say that Indy's gonna have Matt Ryan's gonna have a better statistical year, maybe not, but their team might go farther than Denver.
I
So
think so
there's
too, because Matt Ryan has a number one running back. Again, I don't remember last time Matt Ryan had a number one running back.
my
Honestly, do you remember
Todd,
last time the Falcons had a
Todd
number
Gurley.
one? Yeah,
Eh,
I don't know. Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing: he has a running back and less receivers
hmm,
than um, than Russell Wilson has.
yeah,
So Russell
I
Wilson
mean,
has more receivers, but their running backs are kind of a mess.
yeah, I mean, I like where their future is for Denver's running back. I like Javonte Williams. I think he's a very good running back. If they would just cut the cord on Melvin Gordon, um, that
He's
would be
never gonna go
awesome.
away.
I know. Tell me about it. But and then Indy has the best. So right now, so which way do you think? I mean, again, statistically, probably with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Judy, he'll have a better production there. But I mean, it's only Pittman in Indy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even think they re-signed Ty, right? So I don't know who's catching the ball in Indy actually, other than Pittman.
Let's see. Let's see here. Colts depth chart, and the answer is, as soon as this page loads. So as of right now, if this list is correct,
Mm-hmm.
they have Michael Pittman as the number one. They have Paris Campbell,
Paris Campbell. Yeah.
and they have Ashton Dolan. I don't know who that is.
Yeah. So exactly my point.
And they do have Mo Alley Cox as their tight end still.
Which is not bad.
They have, oh
Which
my God, they have 6 tight ends on their roster.
know that all too well. The Bears had like 10 the 2 years ago, I think it was.
No,
Oh man.
yeah. It's like one of them has to catch it, I think. Maybe. Kind of. Sort of. Right. All right. So the NFL draft is only about 15 days away. Scary,
Hmm.
right? Crazy.
I know.
15 days away to the
Exciting.
draft. And
My
this,
my
yep,
my team is one of the ones that does not have a first round pick because they traded it away.
that is sad.
Hey, they got Justin Fields out of it. I'm still optimistic about him. So Giants could have that 10 pick. Good luck to
That's
you.
that's true. So this draft, it's not as compared to not last year. Well, the last couple drafts have been a little more offensive if that's a word. So this
Skill,
draft,
skill players
yeah, this draft is more defense. Like you're going to see a lot of defensive people go in the first
and line.
10, 12 picks. Um, so with that, is there anyone that you're looking at? Are you like, so right now the Jaguars have the first round pick or the first
Hmm.
overall pick.
Yep.
Uh, like if you're looking at the draft and the class coming into it, is there anyone standing out to you, or you think anyone's going to try to move up?
Uh, it'll be interesting to see if Pittsburgh tries to move up to try to get one of the quarterbacks. I mean, that's where always the talk comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will Pittsburgh trade up for a quarterback? Will this team trade up for a quarterback? I think they might wait and see if one of these two fall. Um, Pickett and Willis, right? That's the two, I believe.
Let me
So,
see here.
so Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis are the two. If one of them gets by number 6, and yes, I believe both of them could be gone by number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even though this isn't supposed to be a quarterback draft year, um, that's how hungry these freaking NFL teams are for for quarterback play. I mean, you could have Detroit pick a quarterback. You could have at 2. You could have Carolina pick a quarterback at 6,
Well,
and then they're both of
well,
them are gone.
Carolina definitely needs a quarterback
Well, so
because they have Cam.
unless
Voice
unless you're
trails off.
well, and Sam Darnold, but then you have Jared Goff and Detroit. So I don't
True.
know.
This is
So
what this is what I think someone should do because I think one of the biggest names in this draft is Sauce Gardner.
Sauce, yeah,
Sauce.
Sauce.
So right
I
now
just don't.
he's projected to go to the Lions, but
Mhm.
I mean, man, like
If
so
he's not,
let's
if
say
he
that
doesn't go to the
let's yeah.
If he doesn't go to the Lions, he's going number 4 to the Jets. Let's just say that.
That's what I was gonna say. You can see the Jets somehow managing trying to move up 2 spots to take him. Because this is the thing about the Jets. They really do manage to find good secondary people.
Hmm.
It's keeping them becomes an issue like later on, but
Hmm.
they do manage to draft pretty like decent corners and safeties. But yeah, I think Sauce would be a good fit for the Jets, especially with their coach.
Yeah, but I don't see them getting rid of the capital to because if they don't grab him, if they don't get him, if he doesn't fall to them, they'll just go like Thibodeau, you know?
Yeah, that I mean that's assuming these and the projections I'm looking at. Sauce is projected to go second, but who knows what teams are gonna do. So I mean, Sauce could drop to the Jets. It's completely not out of the realm of possibilities.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Let's see who else. Hmm.
Especially if they go Malik Willis, at 2, or Pickett, whichever one they feel like. I mean, could be crazy. I mean,
Now,
I've seen one where Sauce drops all the way to like 9.
really?
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I don't think that'll ever happen.
No, I don't think
But
he's. I don't think he's dropping out of like the top 5
five,
as of
definitely
right
not.
now. But he's
I
either
mean,
yeah. He's either gonna. My guess is he's either gonna be in Detroit or he's going to be in New York with at the Jets because the Giants are projected to take a tackle because the Giants need help literally everywhere.
oh,
So
they gotta protect. Gotta protect. I mean, how many times have we said this? They gotta protect their quarterback. Gotta protect the quarterback. Gotta
that's
protect
right.
the quarterback. They've been saying that for 4 years with
And
freaking Daniel Jones.
yep.
They haven't been able to do it yet.
And
So,
or else Daniel Jones is going to run, and then he's going to get another concussion,
I
which would
mean,
not help anyone.
for the Giants, if they get an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman or a defensive edge guy, they should be happy. The Jets the same way. It's not a sexy draft. It's
No,
not the it's not the sexy draft that everyone's
with the
oh
quarterbacks and the running backs, yeah,
exactly. I mean, the last time the Jets had two first round picks and it wasn't a quarterback here, they ended up with cornerstones at the positions for 10 years. Nick Mangold
mm-hmm.
and DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Ah,
Cornerstones.
DeBrickashaw.
They they went to AFC Championships games after that with Mark Sanchez because they solidified the line.
That's true.
You know, you
That's very true.
it's not sexy, but hey, you know what?
It's needed. It is needed, as the Bengals proved. You can get to the Super Bowl with a not superly great offensive line, but it's very difficult. It's
It
very
is.
very difficult.
So I mean, a lot of these teams, they need to use that capital and with this kind of, I mean, look at Jacksonville. What's the guy that's the number one pick? All in like almost all the mocks. I know there's been a couple without, but I think that's just like a smoke screen, I guess. It's gonna be Hutchinson. Hutchinson's gonna be their number one guy. Their offensive lineman for the next 10 years, and guess what? They'll be happy.
Is he offensive lineman or is he
Mm-hmm.
defensive lineman?
Thought he was offensive.
Uh oh. Let's
Uh-oh, what
see.
am I doing here? Let's
Uh
see.
oh. He's definitely on the line. I just didn't know which side of the ball he's on.
Offensive lineman.
Oh,
Oh,
all
nope,
right.
defensive
Nope.
lineman. Sorry.
Well, either way. Well,
Same difference though. You have a defensive
you
line.
do you do need
Sorry,
a good offensive
wrong one.
and defensive line. Yes.
Yes. So he'll be, I mean, again, same thing though. They'll be happy. They'll have a guy that can rush the quarterback for many years to come, and there you go. I mean, that's what you need. I mean, a lot again, like you said, a lot of the top 10 is going to be offensive linemen and defensive linemen and cornerbacks, and that's what you need.
Oh. Oh. So wait a minute. The Bears. The Giants have the
Bears.
Bears pick. That's where they got their other
Yep.
pick from.
Yep. F7
Oh dear. So you,
again.
so you being a Bears fan, like what, like can the Bears get anything from this draft? That's
Yes, they can. They
do you,
definitely can.
do you think they're going to move
They
up, or do you think they're just going to
no.
try
I
to
think
find people in later rounds?
I think they are. I think you're done. I think you cannot keep on trading assets to move up for because eventually you just run out, right?
Right. Yeah.
I
There's
think
nowhere room to move up.
they have two second round picks. Early, I think one's in the 30s and one's in the top half of the 40s. They um need a cornerback. They need a offensive line. They need a wide receiver. Those are the three positions they need the most pressing right now. I mean, it could be multiple offensive linemen, but if they go one each, that's fine with me too in the first 3 rounds because I, I mean, the from what I gather, the wide receiver pool is. I'd like them to see wide receiver in the second round. If they don't, I think there's a decent people could be there in the third. Um, Maybe the offensive lineman could be a third round pick. Who knows? But somewhere in those, they need to address that offensive line, a wide receiver, and a cornerback. So that's what I believe.
Here's some interesting news that came out today. The Panthers are looking to trade down
Mm.
from number 6.
Well, then
Hmm.
that means they're not looking unless they don't believe anyone's going to trade up for a quarterback. They're not looking for a quarterback then.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it. They said they were looking to trade down, but they weren't necessarily not looking at a quarterback. So maybe they have someone else in mind that they saw, like their version of Daniel Jones.
Ooh. Well, the Giants played up to get Daniel Jones, not
Yeah,
down.
well, that's true.
Uh,
That's right. But see, no one was expecting Daniel Jones. That's the thing. I
I mean,
think.
if they go second round with quarterback, I mean, there's a couple guys, but then I mean, it's definitely the two guys that everyone's higher on is those Willis and Pickett. So uh, I don't know where they go the second round. It's what how oh my god, I can't remember the names of these guys now. But it's definitely less. You definitely step down in the notch of talent, I believe.
Oh, and here's something else I just saw. This has nothing to do with the draft, but this has to do with something who someone we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens are talking to Melvin Gordon.
Wait, did he not is he not on the Denver Broncos anymore? Does his deal expire? I don't even know. Hey, okay.
He he's a free agent technically, so I don't think he they let him walk free, so I don't know where he's gonna sign. I guess they're concentrating on Williams to be the main back.
Okay, that's good.
But Baltimore has like let me see, they have Dobbins, who I was always a big fan of. They still have Gus Edwards, and they still have Justice Hill.
So you can get rid of any of those other ones
And then
other than
all of
Dobbins.
well, here's the thing: all of them got hurt.
Exactly.
And then they signed Bell, Murray, and Freeman.
Yeah, well, all those can be dropped too.
I mean, if you're the Ravens, would you sign Gordon?
He's not. I mean, he's not a horrible. I mean,
He can't be
you
your
want to
main
give it.
guy anymore. I don't think.
Well, that's why Dobbins is. I mean, Dobbins, he's a smaller back, right? So I don't know if they want him to have the full load, and you got to give it to Gordon. Give it to Gordon to get that the punch in. It'd be the thunder to the lightning. Whatever it is. So
That's
I
true.
think it would be an okay sign.
That's true. So going back to the draft topic. So you're one that preps for your fantasy draft.
Hmm.
Sean was the one going out and buying 17 magazines that he read
Back in the
all
day.
way back in the day when he read cover to cover, mostly sort of, or he just flipped through them. I really don't know. But when you prep for the draft, do you do it at the time of the NFL draft? Is that when you start, or do you like, I'll wait and see
I wait
what
longer.
pans out like in June, July? I'd say after 4th of July.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, obviously, I'm knowing and seeing who's where now and stuff like that. But to sit there and actually prep, yeah, definitely I could. Because even I mean even now there's still decent people out there that haven't been signed, and NFL teams haven't are waiting to see what happens in the draft before signing these. I mean, Javaris Landry's still out there. I mean he's a good. I wish the Bears would sign him. I think that would be an excellent addition to their wide receiver. Um, but um, to start prepping now is I think or just after the draft, it's still a little early. I think you got to wait.
Yeah, I think
I mean, there's
unless you're hardcore into dynasty,
Well,
then yeah,
unless you get I mean, there's drafts that start in June. You know, the first one's like in June and stuff like that. I mean, unless you're in one of those leagues that draft that early, I mean, I most of them that I know are basically expert leagues. You know, where all these experts are doing it because they have to do it that early because they have to get their magazines out or their
true.
whatever it is. So that's the only ones I know that draft really that early. So unless you're getting trying to get in on that, July, yeah, probably end of June, July, you start looking at it. I mean, definitely by the time training camp happens, you want to be, or you want to start being ready for that.
No, yeah, exactly. So I was never one that like wanted to really start too horribly early because because especially how the league is now, you can things change horribly quickly.
hmm
So
hmm
you
And
don't.
then
I mean, you want to.
you could prepare,
Yeah,
you could prepare that early, and then three running backs go down in a matter of
yeah,
training camp,
like walking to their car in the to the park. Walking to their car in the parking lot from practice.
and all of a sudden, Baltimore signing, people off
Mel-
the street.
like Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, well, last year was what Gurley and every Bell and all those guys
Gurley,
that they just ended up
Freeman,
signing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Bell, yeah.
Freeman.
Uh, so I'm
So,
actually, I'm signing, and I know he's on the Jaguars, and I know the Jaguars were a terrible, horrible mess last year. But I'm excited to see Travis Etienne, I never
hmm
pronounce his name right, actually try to have a full season because I thought he was a very good running back. I felt he's
yeah,
very
he's on
talented, but he
he's
just he got hurt and he was done for the year.
the one dynasty league that we're in together. That was my pick.
And it was a
Yeah.
smart pick
Oh yeah, and
until he
then
got hurt.
a week and a half later, he is gone.
Yeah. What happened? Was his knee or was that his
ACL,
ACL?
something. Yeah, I
Hmm.
can believe it was ACL.
Or Achilles?
But
Yeah. There's definitely been
yeah.
an uptick in injuries. I feel like
So
especially with Achilles injuries. Yeah.
So looking around, I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
looking around the league, right?
Yep.
And again for the draft, um, there now I know there are you know people put up the needs of teams and blah blah blah. But and is there any like you can think of teams and go, my God, if they don't draft this, then what are
Let's
they doing?
see.
Are there is there anything that you can think of where you can go if they don't draft this, what the hell are they doing? I have
Let
one
me.
right off the top of my head that I
All
could
right.
think
All
of.
right. Go ahead. Why? I just want to scan the list again. But go ahead.
Green Bay Packers. Oh my God, if you don't take a wide receiver in the first round, what are you doing?
That is that's horribly true because Adams is gone. The law office is gone.
The law office. Yes, my Bears, right? Is it the Bears that got him? No,
Yeah. No,
we
he's on
got
the
no,
Chiefs.
no. You got the Chiefs. We got the worst one of the bunch, Equimius St. Brown or whatever his name is.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh.
we signed him. Great
Um.
job, Chicago Bears.
Yeah, no, they definitely need a receiver if they're not going to try to draft one. They, I, I still don't know what they're. I guess they were kind of assuming Rodgers wasn't going to play when they drafted Love. I don't know. I feel like they kind of missed the boat on some players with Love. Not that Love isn't a talented quarterback. I'm just saying for the
hmm
Packers, I don't know if it was the smartest choice at the time. I'm assuming they were using that as an insurance policy, but
Oh, it backfired on them
it
so
did
much.
when
But
they could have just signed like a free agent to be a backup.
I know. So,
So let's
so
see
yeah. Can you think of anything?
who needs something. Hmm. Hmm.
Obviously you have the guys that could go quarterback, but again, there's not that quarterback where you go, yeah, you gotta have him. But even with the Green Bay, it doesn't even matter who you pick. You go, oh my God, if you don't draft a quarterback in the first round, what are you doing?
And you know what? Green Bay does have 2 picks, so
They do.
like you said, so they have multiple chances. If I don't think they're gonna do it, it's gonna be along the same lines because they've never been super good with picking offensive players in the draft. It would be the Chiefs. The Chiefs need a receiver.
Mm. Their
You
two
know they
picks are at the end
have,
of the first round.
and they have they have back-to-back picks at the end of the 1st
Mm-hmm.
round. So they should hopefully be able to get a receiver out of one of those picks. And yes, they do have the greatest tight end in football right now. But you know what? You can triple
Still
team.
need it.
You can triple team him, and then who are they going to throw to? Who? They're going to
Stone
throw
hands. I mean,
the
Hardman.
they're going to go to Hardman. There's the law office. I'm a big fan of law office, but
He's not there.
is he going to be the number one?
Oh, he's there.
He is there now. But is he going to be the number one in Kansas City? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
God.
Maybe.
It's
I mean,
like,
he's a definite deep threat. Not as much as Hill was, but yeah,
we all know Kelsey's the number one wide receiver.
he is. And then, but it's very easy to double and triple team a tight end.
Mm.
So I just think
So,
defenses can plan to do that to a tight end much easier than a receiver.
so I've also seen a situation. Oh, wait, did you ever answer my question? I don't think you have.
What?
So, oh no, you said Kansas City. Okay.
Yes.
So I have seen in mock drafts where your Cincinnati Bengals
Mm-hmm.
trade out of the first round.
My God, can you believe it? I don't. I am gonna have to look it up. I don't remember the last time the Bengals did not have a draft pick within the first, I don't know, 10 picks.
So mock draft I saw is where the Jets trade like there's one of their second rounds, which is early, so you drop like 4 spots, and uh, and you pick up like a third round or a fourth round,
Honestly, I would not be against
and
it. I
and
would
the
not.
Jets pick up the center. God, what's his name? I can't think of it now. Oh well, but they end up picking up the center. Do you think you're in a good enough place where you can trade out of that first round?
I I think I am with this team.
Yeah.
And the offensive linemen they've signed. I think they're in a good place.
Okay.
So I'm looking right now. I'm going to go back to 1998. I'm going to go back to 1998 where they picked 13th overall. Oh man, and you know who they picked? They picked Takeo Spikes.
Oh
Dear
my God,
God,
thank you.
he was such a talented linebacker. He got hurt, and he kind of in his recovery stage, he used some stuff that was illegal in the NFL at the time, and that went all downhill. But he was horribly, horribly talented in a good way. But let's see. Okay, 99, third pick, 2004. All right, I'm just looking for years that they picked. Not in the top 10. Okay, so the 2004 draft, because in 2003, that's when the Steelers ruined their Super Bowl run. Anyway, they picked 26th, 2004. 2005, they picked 17th. 2006. All right, let's go a little further. Let's go last 10 years so we don't have to go too far back. What year is this? 20 something. 22. Dear God. All right. So in the, let's see. Why isn't this page loading? We're doing it live. All right. So 2019 they picked 11th. They picked Jonah Williams, and in 2018 they picked 21st. Wow. Oh, that's right. They had those years where they where they went to the playoffs and lost. So, But with this team and them showing the talent they had last year with the holes that the team had, I feel good about it. They can trade out of the first round. I would not be upset, especially with the offensive lineman that they signed. So yeah, because if they're going to get picks that close together in the second round, then I don't see the skill set dropping that
No.
far down.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
see. All right. Anything else pressing
Um,
on your mind?
I think the Jets also need to get a wide receiver in one of those first two picks that they have. Um, I mean, it doesn't matter what the heck the Texans pick because they're wrong anyway. They
That's
need
true.
everything anyway. Um, let's see. Giants should be happy with an offensive lineman and defensive lineman and just or two offensive linemen and just be happy and have some guys that'll be there for a long time. Atlanta, my God, I know it's Marcus Mariota, but yeah, I think you need to draft a wide receiver as well.
I mean,
um,
the Browns still have a quarterback who doesn't want to play there anymore. So
I'm actually kind of surprised Baker did not go to Atlanta. I'm kind of surprised.
I
Um,
am too. Well, it's because he's still under contract. So
I understand that, but I'm surprised that they went that way. Tried for that
I
rather than
I think because the
going for
Browns
asking too
put them in
much.
a mix between asking too much and the Browns put themselves in a spot where there's still the potential that Watson won't play, and then they don't have a quarterback, so they're gonna like make Baker play in case Watson can't play,
Yeah.
because the NFL can still suspend him. Like that's still very possible. So
Oh, let's see. Where else are we going here? Seattle, they need a quarterback, but I don't think that they're going to be going that in this draft. Um, I don't know
uh,
where they go. Offensive line, Russell got hit a lot, as far as I remember.
he did.
Um, Washington, I think they need to go for defense. Their defense so disappointed last year from what they were the year before. I think they need to go defense. Um, they're giving it a shot with Wentz as the quarterback, and their offense is not that bad. So
No,
see
that's
how that
true.
goes. Uh, Minnesota, they got to go defense. They got to go cornerback. They're
They got
they're
burned a lot.
oh my God, they got burned so many times. Baltimore, eh, I'm thinking I don't know. I think a defense maybe. I mean they're a defensive team, but I don't know if that they've actually been that really lately. Um, Often I don't know. Wide receiver. Do they need another wide receiver? Probably.
Probably
Um, Philly. I don't know where they're going.
in circles.
In circles, yeah. Defense, I guess. I mean, their offense seems okay. Um, New Orleans. Oh boy,
New
offensive
Orleans
line.
are. I feel like the Saints are in a rebuild mode,
They are in a rebuild, so maybe offensive line,
especially
defensive,
now that their
defensive
star running back was
defense, maybe.
arrested.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Well, the Chargers. I think they need to go defense. I think they have enough offensive skill positions. I think their O line's pretty good. Um,
I mean,
Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, quarterback, but um, their defense is always kind of solid. Maybe offensive line. I don't know. It's hard to tell with their offensive line because no, they did. They definitely need offensive line. I think they definitely need offensive line. Even with
especially with the
him,
new quarterback.
yeah. Even with Roethlisberger being in there and standing in the pocket for like 10 years, that's why he was hit so much. I think they still need offensive line. Najee Harris should definitely needs a better line to run through. He's a great asset on that team, and he got stopped way too early because it, the offensive line
Don't
got
you
pushed back
don't you
way too
have him
quick.
in fantasy?
Maybe not a dynasty.
Hmm.
So, um, there's a bunch of Cardinals. I don't know where they need to go. Oof,
The Cardinals
do they
probably
even?
a new coach.
Yeah, I don't know. Another wide receiver, maybe defense. I mean, they're solid kind of all around. I mean, Christian Kirk left, right? So um, maybe another wide receiver. Uh, Green Bay, we discussed New England.
What about the Cowboys? Cowboys need anything
Cowboys.
other than better coaching?
I want to say their defense was the problem last year. I mean, their offense seems pretty well good. I think their offensive line is not as good as it used to be, but still pretty good. Maybe defense. Um, I don't know if it's a cornerback or line, but Buffalo's doing pretty good.
Buffalo just signed Bobby Hart, so I'm sorry, Josh Allen.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Good luck.
Um,
And then there's Tennessee and the Bucks.
Tennessee and the Bucks. I mean, again, these teams are. This is why they're picking at the end because they're pretty good. I mean, Bucks offense is pretty good. Maybe another guy on defense. Um, Penn, Tennessee. Hmm.
I really don't know with
I don't know.
Tennessee. Tennessee's pretty solid. I think they're. I think Tennessee's
Hard to
issues
say.
come. Yeah, Tennessee's issues. I think comes down to
They need another
being
wide receiver.
being consistent. I mean,
AJ
another wide
Brown.
receiver probably would help. And just some like
Didn't they get Robert Woods?
coaching.
No. Were they Robert? Were they one that got Robert
Oh,
Woods?
they did get Robert Woods, so they're okay with
I
receivers.
mean, they're okay.
Yeah, they
You
can
know.
probably use another tight end.
Yeah, I don't know about first round though. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, again, pretty solid. So that's why it's they're there. Um, Kansas City defense. Other than maybe a wide receiver.
They do need defense, especially now that their safety is gone. Was he a safety? Was
Oh,
Matthew
there's the
a
one where I
safety?
saw. Yes, Matthew was a safety. Around Matthew. Um, the Jets trade with Cincinnati. Yeah, there's the one I saw. And then it's Tyler
I'm.
Linderbaum
I
is
don't know who
a
that is.
center, the center.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, there's the. I mean,
yeah. So for
there's the draft.
those listening,
First round at least.
as you can tell, again, this year is very defensive heavy, or not. Not the flashy
It's
positions like
defense. It's
quarterback and
defense,
receiver.
defense and offensive line heavy.
Yep, and like
Uh,
secondary.
cornerback. Yep, cornerback. Wide receiver. You very deep from. So they don't necessarily have to go first round, but there's definitely talent right there in the first round that you want. But there's quality in that second and third rounds for wide receivers, and just the
Hmm.
way that football's going, lots of wide receivers. So um, that's where the draft is this year. It's defensive, line, um, cor- you know, then the cornerbacks and safeties, and then offensive line. That's where it is this year.
And then I just looked through the list. If they, I mean, unless they trade, if let's say they, um, unless there's a trade happening, I would just look. The Bears don't draft until the 48th pick in the second round, or not?
Is
Wow.
it that late? I don't know if it's that late.
Um, I mean, unless anything
39.
changed. Oh, really? Okay.
30, 39, and then
And then
48.
48. Okay. All right. That's not
So so
terrible.
so again, it's um, cornerback, wide receiver, and um, what's the offensive line. So the
Yeah.
things that this draft is heavy in is what they need. So they're not going to get the best of the best in that second round and one in the third, but they're going to get someone they can use. So as
Right.
long as they don't royally mess up the picks, they should be able to have usable people, and I'm kind of excited to see where they go with this wide receiver. I still think I know he could be a little crazy, but I think Javaris Landry would be. I don't know why they haven't find him. I don't know why they haven't tried to. I mean, they need to give weapons to Justin Fields.
They do, other than expecting him to run everywhere.
Other than Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney, and Cole Kmet's not even that great. So hopefully he keeps on improving, but he's not. He's not going to be Travis Kelce next year. He's not going to be Mark Andrews next year. So
Right.
He'll be usable. He'll be fine. But and I don't know if I'm hope their hope. I'm hoping Mark Mooney can be a number one, but if you can get a Javaris Landry who's still out there, I don't see why you don't do it. Why and get one of these guys in the second round. I think and of course we have Britt's favorite person, Byron Pringle, out there as well. But if we can get Landry, Mooney, Pringle, and then a rookie,
Right.
that's a good four set wide receivers right there. I think it's more than formidable, and I just don't know why they don't do it. But that's me. All right, done talking about the Bears.
And with that, we've actually reached an hour, believe it or not.
Have we? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
goes by quick. Goes by
time
quick.
goes quickly.
Thank you for joining. Yep.
Draft is such a big topic; it can go on forever.
It is, and we'll as it gets.
I'm sure you guys will talk about it a little bit more next week. So
we will, and then, but again, because of what our the main topic of our podcast, so like the draft doesn't sound as exciting, but these draft picks, even though they're not quarterbacks and receivers and running back, I honestly don't even think there's a running back on the list for like a while in the draft.
Yeah, we didn't even mention running backs, but there is mention. I have seen where Buffalo goes after a running back first round. The top guy, can't remember his name right now, but everyone thinks but I don't even know. I mean, well, Singletary, I guess they're not high on, but this guy will be. See if they go there. I mean, they don't need much, so maybe that's where they go. It's
right.
That's where you draft running backs, is to complement what you are. You can't make them the focal point anymore. Sorry, Giants with Barkley that year. But, you can't make them the focal point. They're a good complementary piece once you have other stuff set up. I mean, they could be great after that.
Right.
And then they can thrive and be a superstar. I mean, but I don't think they can be that focal point anymore. I mean, unless the rarest occasions of like a Derrick Henry and I mean, even Ezekiel Elliott's not that class anymore. So
no, he's not.
Yeah.
But these picks are very important to teams, which do have an effect on your fantasy choices. So not a flashy, exciting draft, but it's still important. It's good to pay attention to, regardless.
Offensive line. If you know that your team has a good offensive line, or a team has a good offensive line, getting that running back for fantasy, not a bad idea.
No, that is true.
Again, when Ezekiel Elliott was the best is when he had that offensive line that was number one rated in the NFL. So, it's something to look for. So pay attention to who gets drafts offensive linemen, and if they start early, and what the rankings are for those offensive lines once it comes closer to draft. Fantasy
draft, exactly. And with that, if you heard, you could leave us a review on iTunes. We are also on Audible, Stitcher FM, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. We are on it at this point, so pretty cool. You can also email us at fignutsdfs@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter or Facebook as well. Not that we really check Facebook that much, but you can if you want to. And I also want to say hi, Deb. So
hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb. So Sean, thank you for joining me this week. I greatly appreciate it.
No problem. I'm glad to be back on here. Hopefully, I'll
And
do some more now.
yeah, I hope so. And honestly, anytime you want to be on, you just let us know and we'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
All right. And you know what? I almost forgot. Sorry, my fault. My fault because we got into the whole draft talk. Do you have any final thoughts this week?
Final thoughts. I guess I've already taken it with the take about pay attention to these offensive lines and defensive. Well, not maybe not so much defense unless we play IDPs, but offensive players that are just the line because it'll make a difference on your fantasy draft. I mean, these offensive linemen are the ones that carry, protect your passer when they're throwing, or run block for that running back that you want to break away this year. So it's important to keep an eye on that as well. You know, so not all about who the person is.
Right. No, exactly. And my final thought is pretty much the same thing. So we football season is going to ramp up very quickly after the draft. So enjoy the slow time while it's here. And with that, thank you again for joining us. This has been the Football Fignuts podcast. I said this backwards, but we're just going to go with it. I'm Craig.
And I'm Sean.
And thank you for listening to the Football Fignuts podcast. Bye.